Mass News reporter Olivia Hickey joins us live in studio with more.
And Chris, everyone I spoke with says, like previous hurricanes, they are prepared for whatever comes their way. Take a look at these videos sent in by Tampa resident Allison Stays earlier Thursday. Water already rushing into the Bayshore Boulevard neighborhood ahead of Hurricane Helene's appearance.
That's where cars drive up and down and it's completely flooded. It usually happens every hurricane, but it usually happens more after the hurricane.
Stays lives in a flood zone B area, meaning evacuations are not required. However, she is taking every precaution at home and her business, a dog bakery closer to the water.
I took everything off the floor in case it does flood. All my seating outside we brought inside, and then all technology I just brought with me. We're fully closed today, and I had to close early yesterday.
She tells Western Mass News she thinks flooding from this powerful storm will be severe.
We've been developing like a lot of businesses, a lot of apartment complexes, so I do estimate the flooding being worse than years past. But nobody here seems too nervous.
Meantime, Longmeadow native Erica Belazarian had to hightail it out of her home in Riverview to a hotel with her dog Poppy after finding out her area was under flood zone A, or mandatory evacuation.
The parking lot here, though, and the hotel are absolutely packed. Last night, I had to drive through several times to find a spot in this lot.
Belazarian is now staying about 30 minutes away from home, where she will hopefully avoid storm damage. Still, storm preparations are ongoing around her.
Caravans of linemen going in both directions to prepare to be stationed to help with power outages along the way.
Belazarian says she hopes to be out of the hotel and back home by tomorrow or Friday. Meantime, Western Mass resources and volunteers are preparing to be deployed at a moment's notice to help with hurricane relief efforts. Those details are now available on our website, westernmassnews.com. Reporting in the studio, Olivia Hickey, Western Mass News.